Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Did everybody have a great Thanksgiving? I guess Joanne saying yes. Of course I did. Okay. Everybody, Travis, tell me yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Are we ready for Christmas?
No.
No. Okay.
I will be after Saturday. I get the kids' Christmas is we do their drive-through for their Christmas bags and stuff Saturday. So after that, I can blow.
Okay. Oh. Hey, Troy, are you ready for Christmas?
I believe I am.
Okay. Well, you are early bird gets the worm, so you get the worm.
So I'm not good at saving money throughout the year, so I just buy throughout the year, and then I dig it all out of the guest room closet and see what I have. So
Oh.
I'm ready.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea. Absolutely. Janice, are you ready? Janet, are you ready for Christmas?
No,
No. No.
in a word, in a word.
In a word. That's a great word. You just, is a two.
Says it all.
Yes.
We could not find our Christmas tree stand, so we ordered another one. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday, and it's been delivered to Bardstown, Kentucky, for some reason.
Oh, wow.
So bless
Okay.
their hearts, they're sending a new one to us.
Let's just
Decided
hope
to
before
buy-
Christmas.
Say it again.
I said just hope before Christmas.
Well, if they get it out today, and if it doesn't get delivered to, Timbuktu, perhaps.
Yeah.
Janet, I've got a spare one in my garage. I'll let you have. So
Thank you, Troy. Thank you. We decided to buy a new one that would age with us. It's the kind that all you have to do is, press a foot pedal and it closes up. You don't have to get down and do the little screws, into the
Mhm.
trunk of the tree. So we'll see if it's worth the money.
Oh, yes. It's more user friendly. You like them. We
I
like
like
those.
that. Yes, I like that a lot. Mm.
Amanda, are you ready for Christmas? She said no.
She
I
doesn't
got
even have to
6
say a
kids
word.
and grandkids to buy for. It is just not even close.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh.
How about you, Sandra? Are you ready for Christmas? Oh, you got to take yourself off of mute. We can't hear you.
I'm ready to go on vacation.
Where are you going, Sandra?
Well, I'm taking my family to on a Disney cruise.
I don't
Oh,
want to go.
okay. I'm part of the family now.
Okay, come on, girl.
I'm available for adoption. Just saying.
Too many,
The suitcase gets bigger every day.
too many kids for me. A lot of kids on the Disney cruise. Oh my God. They're
Oh,
everywhere.
oh my God.
We've never done cruise before. We go down there to the resort, but this is the first time we're doing a cruise. It's a short one.
So my brother, Andy, my older brother, it was one of the designers and installers of the staging and lighting systems on the Disney cruises.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so um,
All I know is anytime we've gone down to Disney, they just know how to do stuff. So my expectations are high.
Okay, gotcha.
I have been on a Disney cruise and they are wonderful. So you will have a blast.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
What about you, Nava? Are you ready for Christmas? I know you are. You probably ready just because you're going to be retired and just
I'm
relax.
excited for Christmas. I don't know that I've done everything I need to do to be ready for Christmas, but I'm excited for Christmas. And it'll be wonderful, whatever it is.
Sounds good. Hey, Keith, are you ready for Christmas? Is everything ready? You got the tree up, you got the gifts, you got everything.
So what's the date on that thing again? Not ready. Not ready. No.
Not ready.
I'll get
not
there though.
ready.
I'll
So are you
get there.
gonna be one of those at the day before Christmas Eve out shopping?
I try not to be. I'm doing this year. Yes, this year I am going to be last minute. Yeah,
Okay, I got
too
you.
much going on.
I know. I agree with you there. And then everybody's doing the order online. So everybody's trying to get their order the order in and then actually ship to them. So that way it'd be at the front door. I was like, it's crazy this year, what we're seeing.
I'm trying to switch to my computer, so you may see me trying to come in again.
Okay.
Hey, Tamika, are you guys able to make outgoing phone calls from your building now?
I didn't know we weren't able to.
You're not. I can't. I haven't for 2 days been able to make outgoing phone calls.
I've
So
been making phone calls all day.
yeah, it must be just our
our
building.
phone system is working over here. There were some phone lines that were not, but ours is
We're
working.
not working. Ours is not working. Okay, I just was asking.
Well,
It's
this great thing,
sporadic.
isn't it, Maryland? It gives you a break.
Well, except you can call. People can call in. I just can't
Oh.
call out.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I cannot make any outgoing phone calls from RCS, so I can get them to come in and I can call inter-department, but I can't do outgoing ones.
Oh, so Sarah, you can't do any outgoing calls either?
No, like I can call our office, I can call 574 numbers, but I can't call anybody else.
Right. Yeah, you can't call anything outside of Metro Louisville.
And I couldn't yesterday, but I'm back in today to where I can make outgoing calls. Metro IT knows about it.
Yeah, they're working on
And
it.
yep.
So we're waiting on a few folks, it looks like.
Yes, Sam, I'm looking up here. I don't think we have quorum. 1, 2, 3. We need one more in order to have quorum.
We've got 10 currently.
I think I'll reach out to Ben Langley. I don't see. Oh, Ben's already here. I
Yeah,
see
I'm
Ben.
here.
Okay.
Oh, we have a quorum. We have a quorum. Sam? Where's Sam at? There we go.
Sorry, Ben.
It's all good.
Sam, I can't hear you if you're talking.
We need 12 and we've got 11.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, wait a minute. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, I was counting Jacqueline twice. Okay.
Right. We just need one more. Right.
Okay.
Does anybody, Swanee River, hold on. Crabblewoods, just a sec. Keeps.
Well, the only thing on our agenda for this meeting that needs approval and a quorum is the meeting notes. So if we can just go ahead and maybe circle back to the meeting notes, if we can move it around on our agenda and move that one to maybe towards the bottom, then hopefully we might have a quorum by that time, or when we get a quorum. What do you think, Janet?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'll get everybody on my screen.
Okay.
Here, hold on. I think I've joined the meeting 3 times now. Yeah. Oh, you go. Swanee River. Here we go.
I promise to be right back. I'm going to run some things I just signed down to Mary Beth So give me 3 seconds, I promise. She's waiting on them.
Go.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, Bionic Man. Make it happen.
All righty. We'll just begin with some of the housekeeping. If everybody will, I'll call us to order and hopefully we'll have an additional person join us so that we make a quorum. Everybody think for just a moment, if you will, about the promise of community action, which you see at the bottom of your agenda. And goodness knows you all are working to implement that. So let's take a look now. I think the next item on the agenda is reviewing the personnel policies. Is that correct, Tamika?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay, great. And I think Juan is doing that?
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, it's afternoon, so good afternoon, everyone. Just to update the board, we actually, I think during the time Sam was doing the monitoring and we were updating our policies for some changes that took place with HR. It was some small changes, nothing big that needs to be outlined to staff or to bring to the board, but it was just some standard language for payroll procedures. More so reflecting like timekeeping. It was some items around harassment policies. They just made it more broader from the HR perspective, but we make sure that our internal policies with RCS aligns with HR. So we made those updates. We've had some staff changes where their emails were in the policy. We changed things like that. So it's some very small policy changes, but we just wanted to make sure you all were updated on those changes within the personnel policy. And that's all I have for that piece of it.
Okay.
I did not do track changing, so I don't want to give it to you all like everything that was changed. Just know it was very small things. It wasn't anything major.
Okay, great. And on to the financial report.
On the financials, as of December the 2nd, and I just want to make sure everyone understands it is a point in time of expenditures and budget here. RCS continuously receives a budget for funds. In the financials, I do not reflect restricted funds here, but as those restricted funds are awarded to us or received, we do add that to the budget. So sometimes things could post on here that truly hasn't posted. I mean, it's posted so we can see it, but it may take 24 hours for the ledger to reflect it. But as of December the 2nd, RCS has expended 41% of their budget. As you can see, right now we're looking at a little over $96,000 budgeted. We have expended $96 million budget. We have expended 39.7 million, and we still have a remaining 49.7 million. We continue to receive the EROP funding for eviction prevention. We continuously receiving the water funding. I think it's LIWOP that we will be receiving here soon. So those are funding that are budgeted but restricted. And once we get our contracts executed, we'll release those funds. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I do still owe you all through email, and I've talked to Sam our FY21 budgets. I did finally get the confirmation they will not post anything else to 21, so there's no more adjustments going to be made through OMB. So I did get that confirmation, so I can finally say we have a finished budget for 21 that I'll give you a summary over as far as what we've expended. And that's all I have. It looks like Janet's probably having some problems with her mic, Director Laird, so.
Oh, so if she's having problems, I'm gonna give her 1 second and then I'll take the rim, or if Keith would like to take the rim. Because Janet's having some problems with her actual mic or with her reception.
Okay. Yeah, we can move on to the next item, which is the programmatic reports and updates from Sarah Teeters. Are they on today?
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
Let me
Thank
go
you.
ahead and share the screen for you all. All right, can everybody see the presentation okay?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you all for having me. I know I missed our meeting in October. I was out of town, but I know that Tracy did a great job highlighting our foster grandparent program in October. So was able to come back this month and be able to highlight our other Americorps senior program, which is our retired senior volunteer program, otherwise known as Rsvp. For those of you who don't know me, and I know a lot of friendly faces on here, but my name is Sarah Teeters, and I am the Advocacy and Outreach Manager here at RCS. So I help to oversee the Office for Veterans, the Office for Women, Office for Aging and Disabled Citizens, the Foster Grandparent Program, and the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. So thank you all so much again for having me. Just to start out with our local program overview, much like the foster grandparent program, it was rebranded in early 2021. So most people knew it as Senior Corps, or you would hear CNCS a lot. And in 2021, that did get rebranded. So altogether, it is now just Americorps Senior. And that compounds foster grandparents, retired senior volunteers, and the senior companion program. So here in Louisville, Rsvp is getting ready to celebrate its 50 years of service in our community. So we're really fortunate that we are one of the longest standing programs across the nation, and are really just excited about 50 years of being able to continue when so many other programs did not actually get to necessarily make it throughout COVID. In April, Rsvp was awarded another 3-year grant renewal. So that is $128,006. We always laugh at that extra 6 each year for a course of 3 years. And here at in Metro, Rsvp is funded through federal grant and 30% matching funds from Metro. And we employ 2 staff members, a program coordinator and a volunteer coordinator. And I know that our program coordinator is on the webinar today. His name is Christopher Clements, and our volunteer coordinator is Bill Clark. And Bill's also at the front desk, so he's kind of in and out, but both great individuals who do a lot of great work with our volunteers here in the community. So really happy to have such good team members. An overview of our participants and the guidelines for them. They do have to be adults 55 years of age or older. There is an application form, a program orientation, interview. All of that has been obviously done via the phone at this point. We have done a few in-person one-on-one interviews, but most of that has been done over the phone and not those very large orientation trainings like we were able to have in the past. And they have to commit to at least one partner agency volunteer position. Unlike FGP, there is no income guidelines for membership, but they do have to offer a minimum of 4 hours of service within each 6 months to be considered active status. So that is where, as we kind of go on, you'll hear a little bit more about that active status and where we really struggled with Rsvp this year. Some of the benefits of being an Rsvp volunteer, the one that I think is first and foremost the best highlight is that we do an annual survey each year, and our members do really truly report and improve physical health and well-being. And I think we can all agree that especially during COVID with so much social isolation and so many other things that really stopped for our seniors 55 years in age and older, anything we can do to maintain that physical health and well-being is definitely a positive thing in our community. So that they continue to have an outlet and a way to be a part of the community is definitely what I consider the best benefit here. Some of the other ones, obviously opportunities to meet new people, share those passions for service. A lot of our volunteers have been volunteering already, and then once they hit 55, they end up coming over as an RSVP volunteer, so they just get to continue that passion with a few added benefits. There is an annual recognition event. Free liability insurance is provided, and then travel reimbursement to assist with the cost of transportation. And then when we get to have them, obviously invitation to any local statewide trainings, any in-services. Generally, there's always been an annual conference in DC that we can invite individuals to, but that's been put on hold. Kind of the COVID impact. Generally, I would not want to talk about this so early, but I think it's really important as we look at the data. The setbacks from COVID have really hit RSVP probably harder than most of our programs, to be honest. So we started with 425 active participants, and that number dropped to 100 during the pandemic. A lot of that was due to sites. We did lose 5 major partnering sites during that. A lot of places, businesses did not make it through the pandemic. Or they closed their doors, only remained virtual, did not allow public in, and definitely did not have opportunities for volunteerism. So that low volunteerism, like I said, it put some of our sites at jeopardy, but it definitely dropped our active participants. There was also a lot of fear, people going out in the community, continuing volunteering in some of the capacities they were before. We definitely felt that. So some of the solutions, obviously some increased vaccinations have given people a little bit more comfort level. So we've seen the volunteerism increase about 40% since probably about May, which is great. We're up to about 220 volunteers right now. Volunteers have been supplied with PPE such as face masks, sanitizer, and most recently in November, they were able to get the COVID rapid at-home test kits through the Louisville Metro Health Department. And then our staff is really going above and beyond to find some different ways to continue to recognize the great work that everybody's done. So we did over the summer a meal care package that really was able to give them more PPE, make sure that they got their milestone recognitions, that they got some new branded items with Americorps' new branding. And then just a few weeks ago in November, we had several people here on this meeting that were able to attend kind of an open house. It was going to be a drive-through event. We kind of had to pivot at the last minute. So it was an open house where we were able to get recognition to our volunteers. They were able to take home a box lunch. We had some great partners that showed up to be able to provide resources. It was truly a good day to be able to show how much we appreciate the strides they have taken in our community this year to continue. Here's a listing of our current active volunteer sites in Jefferson County. That number is down, I'll be honest, not as significantly as you would think. And we have actually gained a couple of new volunteer sites over the last couple of months. Like I said before, some of them just did not make it. Some of them just did not have the capacity for volunteers at this point. So, but even though the numbers are down, I think it's really great just to be able to take a quick look and see that there's a wide array of volunteer opportunities. So, if anybody has that volunteerism spirit, there's a lot of things to be able to choose from. And one of the great things about, RSVP is that if somebody is doing a lot of volunteerism somewhere, we can always add on a new site and pick up a site and a volunteer at the same time. So just a quick look at them. All of these sites do fit into 4 program focus areas. We set these areas a local community need. So those areas are not set across the Americorps program. They are here local. And they also really help our Metro program set goals for the year. So kind of without flipping back and forth, to highlight a few select wins. For transportation, I think it's most important to point out that we really truly help ourselves meet some of those community needs and program goals by reimbursing our volunteers for transportation. If they are going to a site to volunteer, if they're going to a training, they are able to get reimbursed for their transportation, whether that's via TARC, mileage, things like that. They are able to get reimbursed for that. Some of the other sites for that are Senior Care Experts and the Schumann Social Service Center, where we have drivers for those. Somebody have a question? We good? Okay, is that my
I think somebody, it might be you, Sarah. It sounds like it's
I was like, I
echoing.
can't tell if it's me or somebody else.
I think it's Janet.
It may be. I apologize. Hold on.
That's okay. With our nutrition and food support focus, obviously our Louisville Metro Government Senior Nutrition Program, Data Care, and our community ministries. Companionship, some of our biggest ones, our biggest sites are Phosphorus, Friends for Life, and the Silver Notes. And if you've never gotten a chance to see the Silver Notes, please find an event that they are performing at because they are priceless. And our community support, which is our largest area of focus, and that Supplies Overseas, Triad, Louisville Zoo, Project Warm, St. Joe's Quilting Society. So that's probably has the most sites to be able to choose from or kind of filter in. So those are our 4 main focus areas. In looking at the statistics, this is based on our progress report from April to October of this year. So this is our most recent. We do a biannual progress report. This is the most recent one. And you can see, not loving the fact that graphics look so tiny next to the big numbers, but you can see with our volunteers, we are making some strides, especially like where companionship is. That's one that has been pretty steady throughout the pandemic. So our that number on the left represents our actual numbers. Our number on the right is our target goals for volunteers. So companionship, we're almost to 100%. Community support, again, that is where we had the most sites that we lost. So that number is definitely reflected in that drastic decrease there. Nutrition and food support, although we have a lot of great work being done in senior nutrition and in other programs, not all of the things are back open in the capacity that they were before. So we still have a lot of volunteers working in that, just not at the same level of capacity. So a lot of great work is being done, but not as many people. So that's where some of that fell off. And then transportation, just the same. A lot of those programs were only offering drivers for medical specific appointments, or they're no longer offering some of those transportation services because of the risk of COVID, especially to our older adults. So although it is growing, like I said, by about 40%, you can see we do still have a long way to go to get our numbers back up to where they were. Kind of on the opposite side though, our site statistics are looking really good. We have met at 100% all of our sites. We still have retained for transportation, nutrition and food support, and companionship. And again, community support, we're just a little less than 50%. So still looking for some new sites to be able to catch back up where we need to there. But I think both of these, both the volunteer statistics and the site statistics, I cannot say that, really shows how COVID has impacted our volunteer goals. But I think it really just shows that, there's a lot of really good work being done across there. And I'm pretty happy with 75% of our sites still trending upwards. So that's helpful in being able to put volunteers back into them. In wrapping up from last year's grant that went April 2018 to March 2021, just wanted to show, much like we did in the foster grandparent presentation, the community value. And I'm really proud of this number, although it is down from other years. But during that grant cycle from April to March 2021, our volunteers provided right at 139, a little bit more, 1,000 hours of service. And I think that's really pretty spectacular considering that one full year of that was at the height of a pandemic. So those are pictures of our quilting, some of our quilting society ladies. But I think it just goes to show that, there is such a volunteerism spirit in our community, and we can't overlook that, and the value of that being right at $4 million. Truly just speaks a lot to their time and their talent. So really, really proud of that number, considering we truly lost a whole year in there. So happy to see what that number will get back up to once everything gets back to normal. And then some of our program highlights for this year, we weren't able to do as much as maybe we have in the past, but I felt like things were starting to loosen up a little bit. So as I said before, our membership has increased by about 40% since May. To commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we did have 30 volunteers visit 10 sites and offered gifts of gratitude for our first responders. You'll actually see a picture of them on the next page. But that was something that it was the first time people had really gotten to go out and do something really purposeful, kind of together as a group. So it had a lot of spirit and a lot of positive effects, even though it was such a somber kind of reason that we were all going out. But it was a really great event. I talked earlier about the recognition events. We did have right at 200 volunteers that we were able to honor this year. Our monetary in-kind donations, we received 3 this year. Normally in the past, we do receive quite a few more of those. That goes to our match. However, usually they are able to, they provide those match donations because they also get a lot of benefits back. They get to have tabling events at programs or at trainings, or they get to host a training. So the fact that we were still able to get those monetary in-kind donations this year from AARP, the University of Louisville, and WellCare, I think really shows the reputation that Rsvp has in the community, that they still are supportive, they're still backing us, and they've told us over and over again, we can't wait, to be back at full capacity, but we're still here to support you. And then we do have an Americorps Senior Advisory Council, and both FG and Rsvp find guidance through this advisory council. So we did gain 4 new members this past year. Those members come from the health department, the University of Louisville, Gym Care, and WellCare. And that group really helps guide some of the decisions around recognition events, around trainings, around recruitment. They also are our biggest sources of our monetary match donations. So we look to them a lot. We have monthly meetings. They have been virtual, but those have been going really well. And I was happy to see that we are recruiting and new people. Okay, last one. The last one is how can you all help? Just as a really great board in general, we need to increase our volunteers. You all saw the numbers. If you all have groups that you're working with and or friends or families or members of faith-based communities, those volunteers that are 55 and older, if you know that they're needing some purpose or would be great volunteers, please send them our way. We'd be more than happy to talk with them, be able to find things that really fit them. I know a lot of you all are volunteers or work in that capacity, but we just really need to increase our numbers. We also really needed to expand the diversity of our volunteers. To be honest, Americorps has not heavily tracked demographic information from volunteers in the past. That has changed this year, which I think is a great thing. But we also know just from the community need, there are things we need. We need to have some younger volunteers. We've had, unfortunately, we actually had 4 Rsvp deaths this week, which is a horrible, horrible thing, but it goes to show too some of the age of our volunteers. So we need to make sure that we're recruiting at that 55 to 60 mark as well, so we can keep that active status a little bit. Also looking for people with varied languages and ethnicity backgrounds. We have so many refugees and other communities that we need to be able to be a part of, but we don't have volunteers who speak the languages to be able to help individuals appropriately. So expanding that diversity is really important. And then lastly, to identify new volunteer sites. As I said, we lost 5 major ones over COVID that several of our volunteers were at. So if you all know of new sites or places that could use volunteers for service, please also get them in contact with us. Any questions you all have or anything I can do in terms of contact information, you can always call me. Most days you can call me. Today you can call, I just can't call you. But my number is 574-5099. And I know that either myself or Chris or Bill would be more than happy to talk with anybody. So I will take any questions if anybody has them. Thank you all.
I got a
Sarah?
quick question, Sarah. I'll go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Who's going first?
Keith, you can, are you sure? Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make an announcement. So part of my role with JCPS is overseeing an Americorps program, and Americorps really is a true gift to our community and certainly to our country. But last night, this is a huge celebration, is that we now have a new CEO of Americorps. And Michael Smith, who was the executive director of My Brother's Keeper Alliance, is now the new CEO of Americorps for our country. And what a huge win for Americorps, and just something to really celebrate. So I'm just excited about that. And the U.S. Senate confirmed that nominee last night. So it's something to truly celebrate.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had some great, the change in administration also kind of coincided with me coming on board. So I've been trying to get to know a lot of new names and faces real quick. But yeah, that seems like a very positive one that people are really excited about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had a quick question about a
Sure.
couple of slides back. You had associated basically a dollar amount with volunteer hours.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a straight line calculation based on sort of offsetting expenses and no salaries being paid? I'm just curious as to how you correlate that volunteer hours with a dollar amount.
So there is the Nonprofit Leadership Center. They actually do a dollar amount for volunteerism each year, and they adjust that each year. And so through our programs with Americorps, that is how we use that figure they have. It does not take into account, some of them get, transportation stipends or meal stipends. It doesn't take away from any of that. It's just a flat line dollar amount, which they estimate. If you were paying a person for some of the types of work that they do, they estimate it across the country. And I think right now it's right at $28.54 an hour. So it just goes by hour.
Okay, yeah, I did the quick math. You're right, it's 28 something. I just didn't know if that was what that entailed, but I appreciate the detail.
Yeah, sure. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
All righty. I see Janet up here, but I don't know if she can communicate. But if there's no more questions, we'll move on to the director's report.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. I will now turn it over to Faith Alves to give an update on the strategic plan progress.
Thank you, Tamika. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you all. I wanted to speak to two of the highlights in the strategic plan that was included in your board packet. We achieved one of the goals, and it was because of your all's action in October that the board approved the addition of a formerly homeless individual to the board. It's been a goal for quite a while that we better attain the highest feasible level of involvement of low to moderate income persons. And if you look at your promise, it's also reflected in there that we want support of those we serve. And Community Action also has a code of ethics. They have 12 code of ethics, 12, yeah. There's 12 of them. The first one says, recognize that the chief function of the community action movement at all times is to serve the best interest of the poor, thereby serving the best interest of all people. And who knows better how we can serve those low to moderate income than those people themselves. So I think you need to pat yourselves on the back for adding to this group someone who has experienced houselessness and would fall in that category of low to moderate income. And I know that we would welcome other members as well in the future if you know of people, because I think this would better us all as an organization. Secondly, in November, we had the Veterans Week of Valor. And I wanted to make sure you all know that when the press release went out on October 29th, Mayor Fisher surprised John Miles, the coordinator of our Office of Veterans, by proclaiming it John Miles Day. John has been heading that office since 2016. He was a veteran. I mean, he served his country for 30 years and then became a veteran and has worked in Metro for 20 years. And this was something the mayor's office took upon themselves, that it didn't come from us asking them to do it. They had seen the work John has done over the years. Last year, the Week of Valor, due to COVID, only had about 12 events. So they are also on the rise coming back. This year we had 18. John said he's already heard from some people for 2022 and is hoping to start growing that number again. I think he told me that the year before COVID, I think they were inching towards 30 events during the Week of Valor. So very proud of the work of that division, proud that we have an Office of Veterans in our department that will help those who have served our country so well. So those are the two highlights for the month. And then if there's any other questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Faith. I see there's not any questions because everybody's silent. So we'll move on to the next topic item. The next thing is the ARP proposal overview. You guys probably may or may not know. I know it's been in the news quite a bit about the actual ARP funding. And the mayor just made the announcement and council approved for the second tranche of funding. The first tranche was around 38 million, and it was focused on the emergency services that needed to continue around PPEs, COVID, and then also around ensuring that we still had utility assistance that continued in our community. So there was a lot of efforts put in there, around 38 million. The second tranche of funding was, the announcement was for around 242 million, and it was reduced in council to around 168 million. And so that money is allocated, it was appropriated for two pieces, and they were all focused around the two components, which was public safety and then homelessness. So we received, which I'm so proud of, we still need more, but I'm proud that we received 89 million towards homelessness and housing. And how that is broken up, which I don't know, you may or may not be aware, but I wanted to share with you all, is that 1.5 million will go towards the safe outdoor space. This is a pilot program that will be offered for a year. We have to prove that it works. So if it works, then we hope that we will see continuation of funding. It is an approach that will be able to provide wraparound services consistently in one location for our houseless community. The other piece of that was 7.5 million to purchase the College Street property and the two buildings on that property. The admin building will be rehabbed for, we're hoping it will be transitional housing or affordable housing. That decision has not been made yet, but that is what we're thinking the repurposing of that building will be once it's been renovated. The third is the permanent supportive housing. It's $32 million that has been allocated for permanent supportive housing. As you know, over 40% of our houseless community deal with mental health and substance abuse issues. So we need to make sure that we can provide housing that has the wraparound services that will be within the actual housing complex. And so this way we can be able to keep our actual houseless housed and stabilized. The fourth piece of that is 40 million went to affordable housing. So that will be going through the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. And you all probably know Christy McCravy's the director over that. So the focus is going to be around 30% AMI, earned medium income. We need to build more affordable housing. You know what we're dealing with our families, our low to moderate families who are living paycheck to paycheck. And so this gives us an opportunity for them to build wealth and emergency savings and be more affordable. The other piece of that was downtown payment assistance of $4 million, which Marilyn's on here and she's probably saying, hooray. They will receive $4 million in order to be able to provide down payment assistance to those individuals who are wanting to buy a home. So this will give them that opportunity to do that. The other piece of this and the final piece of the 89 million is $4 million for home repair, which we're excited to see that the council appropriated more funding for home repair. We do know that a lot of our senior citizens who are living on income, living on a fixed income and others, and have purchased a home a long time ago, but they do have maintenance issues or where their house is more in deplorable conditions that they need to be able to have assistance and help with actually fixing their home or just maintaining it. So we've seen a lot around weatherization of the property, HVAC and other things that might need to be actually taken care of, our maintenance are repaired. And this gives us an opportunity to serve more of those clients. Marilyn, I don't want to put you on point here, but what are you seeing with that home repair list, just to make sure we can put a number of people who are waiting to receive services?
So we have, we received, when the program opened in July of this year, we received 730, just like 732 applications for home repair. And so we were only able to assist about 130 of those. So we already have 600 people on the list. Sorry, my phone is. And so we are going to be working off of that list. We will not be opening the list up again. We already have 600 people on the list that we are not even going. This $4 million will get to about 160 of them. We actually asked Metro Council for 16 million and they gave us 4. So we still have about 500 people that we will not even be able to get to. It's just the need is overwhelming.
Oh, go ahead, Keith.
Maybe for you, Marilyn. So I understand that the funds are coming in, but is there any management on the contractor side of that process? And let me tell you why I'm asking. If you don't have a contractor doing the work at an efficient and affordable cost, you don't get a lot of bang for your buck when you make those expenditures from a contractor side. So is there any oversight at all around the contractors that do the work? Or is it just sort of an open market system and then the homes have a certain amount of dollar amount that they can spend to fix those things in their homes? And if they can get it all done in that amount of money, they will.
So we have an existing home repair program and we have 6 inspectors on site, and we have a contractors have to be approved and be on our contractor list. We are in the process of going to a rotating contractor list as opposed to sealed competitive bids, just because we feel like that what we end up getting with sealed competitive bids is 1 or 2 contractors who are always kind of lowballing the bids. And so we're not getting a lot of diversity. So we have gone to this open rotating contractor list. So as long as they meet our qualifications, we have some in-house estimates, and we will take the first person on the list and go to the first contractor and say, this is the scope of work that we need done. Can you do it for X number of dollars? And if they say yes, they get it. And then for the next house, we go to the next contractor on the list. But they've all gone through, they all have the required insurances. We've done background checks on all of them, and they're, in good standing with Metro. They have experience. So we have a pretty successful already existing home repair program, and this will just fall in with that. It's actually just an extension of that current home repair program that we have. And the cap is $25,000. So we will do up to $25,000 per unit. There are some cases where we would go slightly over that, but not many. And we do tie it in with our Lead Safe Louisville program to make those dollars go further if we can.
Good, thank you.
And then also, Marilyn, do you want to provide an update on the down payment assistance? I keep on wanting to say downtown.
Yeah, so we got an additional $4 million for our down payment and closing cost assistance program. That is an average of 25,000, but sometimes we go, 30. I mean, it's an average. So the last 25,000 for the home repair is a maximum. This is an average of about $25,000 per unit. We have an already existing DPA program. We have funded it in the last at least 5 years with home funds. And then this year in Metro Council's budget in July, they gave us $3 million of general funds. And so that has been a huge change, but we have already spent and gone through 1 million of those 3 million. And so this 4 million will take us a couple years to get through, but we anticipate, and we have said multiple times that this will not supplant the money that we would get next year. So it will be in addition to the funds that we would have for DPA so that we can keep that program rolling. Because what has historically happened is we get to June, we get to about March, and we've got more commitments and we have money, so we kind of stop. This will keep it going so we don't have to stop.
Thank you, Marilyn. Does anybody have any other questions concerning the ARP funding?
I got a question for Marilyn.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Marilyn, how do you all select your participants for the home repairs? How do y'all select them? Is it based on their income, the need, or just how do y'all select?
In July, we open up our program and it is income based. You have to be less than 80% of area median income. There is a priority for the 9 West Louisville neighborhoods as well as Shelby Park and Smoketown. But we take those applications in the order they were received, and then in the order, when I say the order they're received, not just the day you log on, but the day that you actually submit a full application. We literally were open 9 days and we closed it down because we had over 800 applications by July the 10th. And then we started to weed through those, and about 70 of them were duplicates. So where they had maybe started 2 applications, inadvertently started a second application. But yeah, so we work off of the, a program that marks them when they come in, and as long as they're income eligible, and they are owners of their property, we will, and they submit what they need to submit to us, we will process them in the order they came.
I was just asking because someone in my neighborhood applied, but they got denied.
Right. Yeah, that happens. And most of the reasons people got denied this year was because we had 600 more applications than we had money. And it just, in 9 days, we had 600 more applications than we had money. So we will be, once that money comes, we will be sending letters out to the first 100 or so people to let them know that we got additional funds and we're going to take their case on.
So will that be the people that applications got denied, and y'all will reach out to them?
Yes, the ones that were denied, if they were within the first 100 or so, we will reach out to them. It's literally just a process of who's in what order in the queue.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'll let my neighbor know. Because
and let your neighbor know if she doesn't get that letter that July 1, she needs to reapply.
Okay, I will. Because that's the reason why I asked the question, because she was like, well, do you think she felt like she got denied because of her income? And I was like,
well, if she was denied income wise, then she won't get a letter.
No, I don't think it was so much as the income. I think she just felt like that maybe was somebody else that income was maybe a little bit less than hers.
No, there is none of that. If you're under, it doesn't matter how much under the limit you are. If you're under, you're under, and everybody's even at that point.
Okay, but I'll let her know. Thank you.
Tamika, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I've got to go to a meeting.
That's fine. I still don't think we have a quorum. Do we have a quorum, Sam? Real quick? No. Okay, so we will. Okay, thank you, Sam. We will just put this on the next meeting agenda for the meeting notes to be approved. in February.
Sorry about that, Tamika.
It's not a problem. Thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate it. All right, next up on the agenda topics is Sam Clausy. She's going to talk about the 2022 Community Needs Assessment.
Everyone, just quickly, I just wanted to give everyone a heads up that we're starting the planning process for our 2022 Community Needs Assessment, and that also includes the survey, which you should all be familiar with. So we're really counting on your help getting that survey out there. And then we also are planning on just having sort of an informal needs assessment committee that, you know, we would just meet a couple times, probably over WebEx, just to discuss the process, come up with ideas, maybe look at some data. So if any of our board members are interested in being a part of that, you know, shoot me an email. And then this year we're also we're planning on having a focus group, and we're lucky enough to have Dr. Susan Buccino from U of L, who is also our homeless services division director, and she's got experience with focus groups, which is going to be great. So she's going to help us make sure that that runs the way it's supposed to, and that we can get some good qualitative data from that. So if anyone's interested in more information about that as well, just let me know, and I'm sure you'll be seeing some emails come through around early to mid-January about the survey. So that's it for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Sam? All right, then we're moving on to our next and last agenda item for the director's report. Juan, I'm gonna turn it back over to Juan again, Assistant Director Juan.
Hi, everyone again. I believe last year, Dr. Andy Bates, if you recall, he had mentioned bringing back to the board recommendations for either board members or recommendations for the HUD panel. So I'm coming this year to reach out to the board to ask for some panelists for the HUD panel. We're needing about 3 to 4 panelists. So if you all want to be on the HUD panel, please, we need you. Or recommend someone to be a panelist, it would be helpful. We've received some response. We're waiting on about 2 or 3 more responses, but it's no guarantee. And sometimes you have panelists drop off at the last minute. So we're going to go ahead and ask for 4 panelists, and I hope the members can help us out here this year. Do anyone have any questions around this request?
I do, Juan, just from memory. Could you say again what the requirements are and what they'll be doing, please?
So far as requirements, there's no set requirements. I do know HUD asked us to at least have someone that has experienced homelessness on the panel, and we do have someone for that particular area of our requirement from HUD. But what the panelists would do, they would review applications. We would actually score those applications as well. On the HUD panel side, it tends to be about 40 organizations. So a total about 40 applications on average. It could be more. We don't know who's going to apply once we send that NOFA out, but that's on average what we've seen. We divvy those out to at least 7 or 8 panel members, just depending on how many we get to confirm. And you score those panelists. They will have an opportunity to sit with myself and some staff on the committee to go over some the handbooks for the panelists and some guidelines on the rubric as well. We're lucky this year, Dr. Buccino, she was a panelist last year, but it's a conflict of interest with her being a part of RCS now. We're actually going to sit down and look at the questions and the rubric again, just to make sure the alignment's on point, because there were some concerns last year. But we will go over the scoring requirements and the rubrics with the panelists and offer any help we can. But basically, the panelists would set the threshold, and it would be it would be the panelists' effort to do that. And then they would score the applications based on the responses to the questions in the rubric, utilizing the rubric.
Thank you.
So.
And then there is also an orientation for all panelists. So you will go through the orientation process. You'll learn more about the handbook. You'll learn about the application. It sets the actual the tone and foundation for you to be able to score these applications based off of the rubric criteria.
And I'll just add to that, during that orientation, we will talk about the grants themselves more too, so you can get an understanding of what they're applying for too, and the funding that's available. I don't see any issue with it. Director Larry, you correct me where I'm wrong. We're also needing panelists for the EAF process too. So I also want to throw that out there. Originally, we were just looking for HUD. But we need for the external agency funds, which tends to be general funds for our competitive process. We're needing panel members for that as well. That panel is a little larger. It's the same process as far as there's a handbook, there's an orientation, and there are questions that align with the rubric. This one consists of community partners, council members are also on this panel, and the members here on this call today, if you decide you want to be a part of that panel. We would go through the same process as far as orientation, go over the questions, the rubrics, and all of that greatness as well. You do tend to have several more applications that you're going to review on that panelist, because hundreds of applications come in every year for the external agency funds for the general fund side of it. So you can have anywhere from, and this is just me on average giving you this number based on last year's, you can have anywhere from 20 to 30 applications that you're reviewing. And SurveyMonkey is what we're currently using, just so you all know the system that's used. We're dipping in to look at Bonafide, but we don't know for sure if that would even be an option, but we definitely know we use SurveyMonkey for them to submit their applications and everything. And the packets will be prepared for you to take with you at home or at work, however you're going to do the scorings and reviews of those applications.
Juan, would it be possible to send some information, just an email out to all the board members? I'm thinking about people who are not here at this meeting. Just
We
to
can
share.
Absolutely.
Yep, we can do that. We can do a follow-up to that. So that way it can give you the actual expectations and the actual overall role and responsibility of the panel list. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
And we hope that, we do know that some of you might be applying for EAF or HUD funding, so that would be a conflict of interest. But if you know of anyone else or anyone else that could possibly fill this role, please refer them over to Juan Moran, and we'll put that all in our actual email that we send out. So that way we can get some recruitment. Every year we have to do this. We have to recruit for these panels. And it's a labor of love. That's what I say to everyone, that this process is a labor of love, and the actual overall volunteerism behind it is a labor of love. And we appreciate each and every one of you for if you decide to do it. So we just want to say upfront, thank you. So
one other question. I know that in our packets, there was information about the needs for the Rsvp program. And I wanted to check, I was thinking, Jackie, if you're still with us, I was thinking you'd had a really good idea about that. Do I remember correctly?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
The space need for Rsvp.
Oh, yes. It was the ICF building on our church property, but it's not connected to our church. It's on another piece of our property. It was a CFD building. I gave that information to Tracy, and I spoke to the person that runs that facility, so I don't know what happened after that.
Okay.
I can add some input if you would like me to, Janet.
Sure, that'd be great, Sarah. Thanks.
Yeah, so I spoke with Tracy and Delinda, and they did follow up. The issue, Jackie, is the bus issue, because we have about 30 of our participants who either are on fixed routes or take TARC 3. But the fixed route users, to be able to have a bus stop and not walk so far from the building to the bus stop and back, there is just that concern for safety. And so that seemed to be what they were concerned about with that location. Because I've actually been in that building, as you know, it's a great space. But it was being on the bus route. And I know I did include some of that criteria for the foster grandparents for the meeting packet today. So if you know something different in regards to if there are special circumstances for the bus lines, you know, I don't mind, please follow up with me, Jackie. That'd be great.
Okay, all right, I will, thank you.
Sure, thanks.
All right. That concludes the director's report, and now I'll turn it back over to you, Janet. Do we need to make a motion for the minutes by any chance to move them to the next meeting or anything?
No, I think they will just automatically move since we do not have a quorum.
Okay.
That would be my take if that comports with you all.
Okay.
All righty. Any other announcements or other business for anyone? Nary a thing? You know, if we were all together, we'd be eating Christmas cookies right now, you all. But so we all need to run to bakeries or run to our kitchens and make some cookies. We will be together again in February. Just to hold on, let me get here and. Well, Swanee River, I don't have it on my calendar. It is February, right? When we have our next meeting? Anybody have
Yeah,
the date?
I believe it's February 10th. I just haven't, I'll be sending out, probably over the next month, I'll send out the calendar invites for the 2022
Okay.
meeting, so.
Great, terrific. Well, if there's no other business, Joanne, you don't have any announcements?
I always have an announcement.
I know, that's why I'm coming to you.
Well, I was going to make the announcement because I actually am working with within our system here at Office of Resilience, but we're trying to get up and stock our women's facility. We have our very first veterans women's facility in the state of Kentucky. There has never been anything in the state of Kentucky for women veterans. So for our homeless, and I've gotten a few out from under the bridge. Even found one down there that was active duty AWOL with a 8-month-old baby. So, you know, I now have some place to take them down in Winchester, Kentucky. So I had set out with a lot of the veterans group to try and stock her facility. So this was not something she had to worry about out of pocket. She has yet to get federal funding.
Right.
So the place is called Mona's House. Is it? Am I right? Chris is gone.
Anna's house.
Anna's house. Okay, I got two. I got a Mona's too, but she's down here in Louisville. Anna's house she's in Winchester, Kentucky. It opened back in July. So, you know, we're going to send out a flyer and everything because we're going to make it our project for the Martin Luther King Day of Service. So keep your eye open for it. If you can help me out, I always need some help. You know that. Kids are very blessed. We're doing our kids' Christmas for Sickle Cell Saturday. So didn't have a lot of problems this year. People stepped up. So I guess I've been bugging them so long, they just didn't want to hear from me. So I'll take it any way it rolls. So thank you. Thank all of you that were even involved or thought about us or said a prayer. So we keep our fingers crossed. We've had no COVID deaths. Well, I've had 2 deaths, not COVID though. None of them children. So we're staying with the Lord this year. So keep us in prayer. Thanks.
Joanne, I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm seeing lots of little, I don't know if you call it a meme or an icon or what, but little hands clapping for you. So
I say that's an emoji.
Oh, an emoji. Thank you. Okay.
Joanne, would you like me to send the flyer to Sam to distribute
Yes,
to the group? Okay.
Please.
I've got
please.
the edited one with your changes in it, so I can send that to her. Okay.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
If you guys don't mind, if you don't have anything to do this weekend, this has nothing to do with HCM, but they've rented our space. But the Redline Productions are doing Rent this weekend. Redline Performing Arts, and it's African American led theater group, and they have transformed our main hall into a New York City street and apartment. And in keeping with the theme, our boiler went out, so there will be no heat. But they're going on with the show, so just wear a scarf and audience participation. But it should be a great production, and we're real excited. This is their first show here, and I mean it's serious. It looks like a real theater in our event hall. So if you don't have any plans this weekend, it's redlineperformingarts.com. You can get your tickets and whatnot. So I'll give them a plug since it looks like they're going to have a great show.
Gosh. Jeffrey, you hear that? Are you there, Jeffrey? Well, Jeffrey's an old theater guy here, and his wife is a longtime theater person. So if you have not seen Rent, it is a wonderful musical to see. So now what are you going to do about your boiler?
We're going to be cold this winter because we've decided to scrap the old steam boiler system, and hopefully starting in January or February, we will have heat and air in all of the building. We're trying to join the 21st century right here on the corner of Breckenridge and Breckenridge and Barrett. So, but yeah, so we're not going to replace the steam boiler. So we're just band-aiding things together and working from home and keeping the food pantry open and the senior programs, what little we're able to doing. And we're farming out other activities to our member congregation. So yeah, my hair's going to be even grayer by the time this winter's over. So
Gosh, hang
we've
in there.
secured the funding to replace everything. And we're preparing the building for the next 20 years. So that's what we're working on.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
We couldn't get it to work for this winter, and the boiler inspector said no, and so there we go.
There you are. Stay warm. Any other announcements for anybody?
I'd like to make one. It's on a different note, but just to let everyone know, I'm a member of First Baptist Church in Jefferson Town, and we've been trying to help in having the vaccine clinics for COVID. We will be having another one on this Saturday from 9 to 12. And it's been exciting because we've been able to help with the 5 to 11-year-olds. But they're giving all the vaccines. It's through Blue Water Diagnostics. They're giving all of the different vaccines, whether you need a first dose, second dose, booster, or whatever you need, they've got that available. So if anyone's interested, just let me know. I can get you the information to sign up or pass the word on.
That's great. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, our cases, well, we don't have Sarah Moyer here today, but our cases, as you know, are going up still in Kentucky. I think we're in the red zone right now. So isn't it nice to meet and not have to have a mask on for this hour and a half period? Yeah. Anybody else? Well, we will adjourn this meeting and send out holiday wishes to everybody. Hope you all have a good December holiday and a good new year. And hopefully we start out in a better place with COVID in the new year. Take care, everybody.
Have a happy holiday, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
See you all in the new year.
Happy
yeah.
Hanukkah.
Take care. Happy holidays.
Keith, take care. Hi, Nova.